Hey guys, I hope you're doing good today. Um, I just have something to share, which I think we're not paying much attention to yet. It plays a major role in our relationships and marriages, and in fact, in our walk in life. Generally, be it your personal walk in life, be it in business, in ministry, or in any form of relationship that you can have as a person. Guys, family dysfunctions are really crippling our relational abilities as human beings. Family dysfunctions, I'm referring to the fact that we don't have good relationships with our parents, we don't have good relationships with our siblings or relatives. That, trust me, it plays a major role and have a huge impact on how you fare in your relationships, and particularly in marriage. The reality is that in our families, that is where we learn how to relate, how to love, how to understand, how to communicate, how to be accepted and how to accept, how to be patient, how to tolerate. All the relational skills and knowledge and abilities that we need should be learned from our families, within our families, in our upbringing. We should learn that from our parents. We should learn that from our siblings. But the unfortunate reality is that many are struggling to get that. But instead, people get rejection, people get alienation, people are hated by their own people, by their own families. And that's a problem. And you look at how they do in their own relationships, in their own marriages, in business, in ministry. And trust me, it draws back to the mere fact that they fail to relate to their business partners, they fail to relate to people in ministry, they fail to relate to their loved ones because they did not get the opportunity to be taught or to be guided on how to relate in different spheres of their lives. Their families are so negative, are so toxic, they are so evil, if I may use that word, to a point whereby one will end up feeling like, you know what, my family hates me, my mother hates me, my dad hates me. It's funny that yesterday we were having, I was part of a live where one of the ladies said, the unfortunate reality is that it is mothers who starts this. I'm not here to actually point a finger, but that is the reality of the situation where some mothers would actually create a dysfunction and discord between siblings by favoritism, as a result of one doing what they like and the other not doing. Like, they just never knew any better. They never knew how to actually make their siblings, their children, grow in a healthy environment. And that end up making others feel like, you know what, I don't belong in this family. Let me rather go and start my own family somewhere. Let me rather go have my own friends and family of strangers somewhere else. Because the reality is that we are at a point whereby strangers are becoming more of family and families are becoming more strangers. That is the unfortunate reality that we can never run away from. So the family dysfunctions, lack of relationships, that lack of love, understanding, acceptance, tolerance, affirmation, and giving that sense of belonging, it's affecting a lot of people in life. And I know that we see this in marriages, we see this in relationships. People will be seeking love. They will be with someone who loves them, someone who understands, someone who will support, but they will still not think that's enough, because they still carry the rejection and the writing off and the alienation they received or they got from their own families. And that is the saddest reality. People gotten to a point whereby they say, you know what, I don't want anything to do with my parents. I don't want anything to do with my mother, my sister, my brother, my this, my aunt, and like, you wonder. The saddest part that I heard actually was the fact that a lady said, we are even going to court as family members, me against my parents, my siblings, because of relational dysfunctions. How can we resolve this? How can we go back to a point where we say, as parents, we need to embrace healthy and functional relationships with our children? How can we get to a point where we say, as siblings, we can easily identify our point of contention, our bone of contention, and say, we are not going to allow this to get in between us. We must love each other. We must support each other. We must encourage one another as siblings so that we do better in this life. It takes a decision. It takes a decision. It's a decision. And that decision has to really say, now I'm going to keep every negative thought about my family captive, so that it can obey the intentions and the desires that I have in my heart, that being to have a healthy and functional relationship with my family. We blame churches nowadays, we blame pastors when it comes to people getting married and not including their families. Why do we blame them? Because these people decide to say, I don't want any of my family members because this is how they are, this is how they have been to me. We hardly ever look at that. I know now they are in this, now they think family is no longer important. Hey, let me be honest with you. Blood is not always thicker than water. Sometimes the water can make your life flow in a way that is so conducive for where you are going and how you're going to reach your purpose. Because sometimes the very same blood that is thicker can actually become your downfall, can actually become something that holds you stagnant to progress. We need to change this. We need to change this. I know that for some, it has gotten to a point where they feel like there's no way things are going to change, things are going to be better. But we need to change this. And especially for those families who are hating someone, even though that somebody, their child, their siblings, their brother or their sister, is trying to make things better. But they are hating that person for whatever reason. Whether it be it not getting the benefits they want, be it the person having chosen a different path in life, be it in the person does not help us in this and that. Remember, what matters the most is not what you get from the person, it's about who you are to the person. Everyone needs a sense of belonging in this life. We need a sense of belonging. But how do you feel being that family member whom your own child or your own sibling does not want to be part of you, part of your life because of how you treat them. How does it make you feel? How does it make you feel to harbor hatred towards your own blood, which is supposed to be thicker? How does it make you feel when you alienate, when you reject, when you hate your own flesh and blood? How does it feel? So I think we need to understand just how this damages relationships and marriages, because it does. A lot of people are in marriage and still struggling to relate because they just don't know how to relate. They struggle to relate. And as I always say, sometimes you wonder, but you are an adult, you can make a decision, relate to your spouse and things like that. I'm saying, hey, certain things are assigned or imposed on your life for a certain time on the journey of your life. The rejection, the hatred, the alienation, the curses that were imposed on you as a child while you needed those people to love, encourage, and embrace you. Those are assigned for a time when you are in another family setup, which in most cases becomes marriage. And as you live in this marriage and you have children, now you relive your childhood life. And that is where you get to see how people struggle to relate with one another as a result of things that were imposed on them in their own families, by their own parents and their own siblings. You're not going to come here and tell me that, even as an adult, you still hate your child, you still hate your sibling, whereas you know exactly why you hate them, whereas you know exactly who's causing the division between you as a family. You're going to have to change and say, no, we have to stop this. This cannot happen anymore. Let us think better. Whether you are getting this from your parent who's imposing favoritism, or else you're getting this from your sister, your brother, who makes you hate your other sibling and things like that, you are an adult. You can change your mind and say, I am not going to be part of this. That is my brother, that is my sister. No matter what they do, I'm still going to keep our relationship healthy. We can't do that because you are damaging people's lives and you don't know it. I don't know, maybe yours is damaged as well. Perhaps parents who are imposing hatreds and divisions between their own families don't know that they are damaged and they're also doing the same to their children. But at the end of the day, someone has to stand and say, guys, collectively, can we stop this? Because I promise you, your own family members are becoming families, good families, to strangers out there. And they are having a time of their life. Strangers are benefiting from the blessings and the grace and everything that you are supposed to benefit from your own family member, from your own child, from your own sibling. They are benefiting. They've become family just because you hate them, you alienate them over useless things. Since I started go bereka ha romele tšhelete. At that time, ngwana wa geno is not even well established to even do that. They're still trying to find a solid foundation. Wa bereka ha ise ngwana sekolo, ha ise ngwana ka sekolong, or ha thuse ngwana ga bo this, already you create all these things and you make them your point of hatred towards your own blood. So it is about the benefits. We hate each other as families because of benefits. Why is that? But the most important thing that I'm really worried about is the fact that relationships and marriages are struggling as a result of how you guys treat each other as siblings, as family members, parents towards their own children, children amongst each other. Let go of that hatred. Let go of that alienation and rejection. Please stop that, because you are, in actual fact, creating a generational dysfunction that you are not even aware of. Can we change that as people? Can we get to a point where we say, no, this ends with me. I am not going to be in quarrels and hatred towards my own siblings, towards my own children. I will not. I'm going to start having a good relationship with them for the sake of my children, for the sake of our generations to come. You can do that. I don't know how proud can you be, seeing your own sibling, seeing your own child feeling comfortable, happy, accepted by strangers who have become family members to them. How does that make you feel? How does that make you feel? Can we change that? Can we talk about it? Can we just talk about it? Perhaps maybe we should go live and then engage on this particular issue, because the stories are really sad. The stories are sad. Your own family members are struggling in relationships and marriages because of how you treated them and how you still treat them. Can we engage?